public and private partnerships, and community engagement has resulted in UTSA's designation as a Tier 1 research university by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Dr. Amy is an advocate for urban serving public higher education. His passion about UTA's role in developing San Antonio's knowledge economy by preparing future leaders in generating new knowledge that changes the world is unprecedented. This past January, UTSA unveiled San Pedro 1, a world-class facility that will usher in a new area of high-tech education, research, and innovation in Texas. The $91 million facility will house the university's National Security Collaboration Center and the new School of Data Science, advancing economic development in the urban core and creating prosperity for San Antonians. It's no surprise that in March of 2019, San Antonio Business Journal named Dr. Amy as its inaugural Deal Maker of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, I will present Dr. Amy.
It's a real honor and a pleasure to be here, and some have heard me say this story before. The very first meeting I had as president at UTSA on my birthday on September 1st in 2017 at 8 o'clock was with Red McCombs. But one of my follow-on meetings within days of that was with Chico, your father. So it really speaks to this, and what I want to say this morning is the power of people collaborating to do big things and to believe in our city and where our city is going. Nelson and Tracy, you have been so impactful to us and our city and all of the causes that mean so much to us, that speak to our hearts, whether it's investing in our children, investing in our infrastructure, investing in our preparedness for a pandemic, investing in always pulling together the right people to do the right things at the right time, to dream big for our city, to advocate for our city. It's just this powerful notion that we all have to collaborate together, and you both have been marvelous exemplars of that, and we are eternally grateful for what you've done for us. As president, and obviously I look at our new building here and our new building that will be going here and everything else that we're involved with, I am so fortunate and blessed to have wonderful partners in Bexar County and in the city of San Antonio with the mayor and the judge and all of the staff that are involved and all of the efforts that we work together to realize. And I have the best job in the world because of that, because we have such a strong bond to our community. There are 150,000 living Roadrunner alums right now, and that's going to continue to grow. But our community here in San Antonio has adopted us, and it's the power of partnership that has brought us to this place. We're going to continue to need Bexar County and the city. But what I'm struck with, and my wife Peggy is not here today with me to celebrate Nelson and Tracy, she's up with the women's basketball team up in Frisco supporting their run for a conference championship, if that can happen. But she sends her love, her deep love to you both. And what I really want to say is this: when you think about the power of people, we both arrived here in San Antonio in 2017. We had visited before, but we did not have mentors here. And you both, with love and compassion and care and interest, took us under your wings, your big wings, both of your sets of wings, to nurture us and support us and advocate for us and advocate for our causes, whether it's youth with a history of foster care or Roadrunners or developing downtown and seeing the future of our community come to fruition. You were so kind and loving in your mentorship of us that we are eternally grateful for that and what you did for us. So today is a very special day to honor you both. I'm sure everybody else who's attending now and who's in our community could say the exact same things I've said to you. And so we're just here to celebrate you because you meant so much to us and accomplished so much with us. And your leadership and your passion for our community is immense. And so I just want to say we love you, we appreciate you, keep busy, keep active with us. We're going to keep bugging you. And actually, you might know this, folks, but Nelson's now a Roadrunner employee. So I get to be his boss finally. So that's a helpful thing, although not really. I don't get to really say anything to him. I'm more happy just to sit and talk with him and figure out what the future looks like. So as Roadrunners, we celebrate you, and today is a big day, and it's your day, and we love you.
Thank you, Dr. Amy. Our next speaker is Derek Bass. And those of you who are not familiar with Mr. Bass, he is the general manager of the San Antonio River Authority. Before coming to the River Authority, Mr. Bass was the Chief Administrative Officer for the Flood Protection Authority. He was responsible for the regional flood risk management system protecting the east bank of the Great New Orleans area. Mr. Bass has served as an executive for 2 national engineering firms focused on flood protection and coastal restoration. And he's also served as the Chief of Staff for the Hurricane Protection Office for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Ladies and gentlemen, this time I would like to introduce Mr. Bass.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Steve. First, welcome to San Pedro Creek. It is a beautiful day, and I think it's really appropriate that the weather is doing what it is, and we have the opportunity to recognize Nelson and Tracy in such a beautiful setting that also highlights the vision that they have brought to this city for so many years. You know, over a decade ago, his leadership forged the way for a project as important as this, as San Pedro Creek, to come to life. And this was the latest in a whole series of projects, Mission Reach, Museum Reach, you name it, of how they have shaped this city. And I will say, as a relative newcomer, about 2 years now, he made me feel incredibly welcome and wanted me to make sure that this project stayed on track, and we were able to do that. And I am truly appreciative for the guidance and the support that I've received since I've been here. I will tell you also, as having lived in a whole lot of different places across the country, it is incredibly rare to find a city like San Antonio that is willing to invest and support these types of infrastructure projects for both the community good, but also the economic benefits that it delivers. This project here is projected for $1.5 million return on the investment that the county and the city have made. And you see that all around us with UTSA's new building and everything else going on downtown. So I think it takes somebody with fortitude and vision to be able to see something like this 10 plus years ago and then see it to fruition. And so that's a credit to the judge, because I still think of him as the judge. That's how I first met him. And Tracy, and so I just want to say thank you on behalf of the River Authority for giving us the opportunity to work with y'all on a project like this, a truly transformational part of downtown San Antonio, and it's an honor to be here today to recognize y'all. Thank you.
Derek, Dr. Amy, thank you for your partnership and vision in this project. At this point, I'd like to introduce Mary Alice Cisneros. And of course, her and Henry were such a important and critical piece to get this project off the ground, and we appreciate everything.
Thank you, Steve. I think this was a unique opportunity for all of us in this community, and I am proud to be here along with all of these folks that is almost family to us these many years that we've been in San Antonio. And I have to apologize for Henry Cisneros, who is chair now of the Bipartisan Policy Center in Washington, and that's why he's not here. So on behalf of us, I'm very happy that the day has arrived that the residents in Bexar County can witness the unveiling of this beautiful tribute to the both of you, okay? And it will be a unique monument, a testament of the effective partnership we create to assure the better future for Bexar County. As we know that Alfonso Chiscano and the family that is here today, and I'll bring up Mary Alice in a little bit as well, we share the same first names, put this in motion and made sure that Steve and I and the family were responsible for completing it, and we were more than happy to help in this wonderful project. This monument will also deserve the commemoration of decades of selfless public service. We all know that in San Antonio. We just say yes. And so we are glad that it's located, in particular in this creative water feature that Judge Wolff himself, as a commissioner and a judge and the Commissioner's Court, voted in to make this happen. So we congratulate the entire Commissioner's Court. I know Justin is here. Rebecca Clay Flores is also here. Thank you for your support for this wonderful water feature that everybody will stop and to want to take a photo with this wonderful enduring. The preeminence of this monument is matched only by the preeminence of our appreciation and the respect for the two of you and the legacy for the contributions you've made for our people in this region. Henry calls it a region. I call it our home. Thank you. God bless you so much. Thank you, Steve. Shall we call up Mary Alice? Okay, and do the unveiling at this time? Okay, great. I'm going to just set this up here and make sure that everyone's okay.
Thank you guys all so much for being here, all of you. I can look around, not only do I see a lot of family right here, Nelson's brother George. I see my son, I see my daughter, my granddaughters, a lot of family and all friends all over the place. Let me see, we have one granddaughter here that came all the way from Washington. Hazel, wave at everybody just for today. Thank you for being here. I want to say thank you in particular to the Chiscano family. What an incredible family. I will never forget the first time I met Dr. Chiscano. We were at Nelson had just been elected mayor, and we had a fundraiser, a huge fundraiser, and I see this man dressed in a costume, beautiful costume, and I'm thinking he's one of the entertainers, right? Not one of the prominent doctors in our city. And there he was, right, Mary Alice? So, yes. So we, of course, became friends over the years, and I want to say I've met a lot of people, but he definitely not only was the most caring person, an incredible gentleman. He always was so kind to everyone and caring about so many issues in the city, and of course, in particular, the Canary Island people that his life belonged to, literally. And he shared all that with all of us here in San Antonio and brought it into the picture, and there they are on the front of the courthouse, all the beautiful sculptures that Chico wanted done. So we very much appreciate the Chuscano family, and we're so glad that the beautiful Mary Alice Chuscano is here today. Pardon my voice, but I want to thank Henry and Mary Alice, of course, too. I know that, you know, when duty calls, Henry goes off, and we're very proud of him taking over the job of the bipartisan committee that he's chairing now, which is not going to be easy. And so we all need to be supportive of him. But of course, Mary Alice steps in, and Mary Alice and I can write a book. I want you all to know, the two of us, about these guys we're married to, and how many times we've had to step in and just take over. Right, Mary Alice? We do appreciate Henry and Mary Alice, though. I know he came in and you came in to help raise the additional dollars so that we could have this fabulous sculpture. And we do. I know how much work that is, so we appreciate that. Also, we do have a lot of family here. There's Gideon, I see. And I would like to ask our family to stand, if you would. We don't normally do this, but stand up, family. Raise your hands and stand up. Thank you all, family, for being here. It is not easy having us for parents, I'm sure, and being supportive of us, and many phone calls and times that we've needed things and they've needed things, but they've always been there for us to support us, George Wolff, and we really, really appreciate it. I also see a lot of staff people here. I know I saw David Smith a minute ago. There he is, county manager. Of course, commissioners, Justin Rodriguez. And, I'm trying to see a lot of other staff people here. George Hernandez. Many of you have just, I don't even know how to say this. We've been in office 33 years, and you don't do the things that have happened without great, great staff behind you. I don't care what anybody else says, and that's the absolute truth. Right, Phil? Our former mayor, Phil Harberger. You have to have good people that can follow your direction on the spur of the moment a lot of the times. And so we are very, very appreciative of all the staff people over the years that have been supportive of everything Nelson has been doing, and me as well. I want to introduce, I guess, Nelson, which is kind of interesting. I think we had 20 events in December to honor him, something like that. And a lot of you were at a lot of these things. And I just want to tell you for sure, we haven't retired quite yet. We're still working a lot. I still have my children's foundation, the Hidalgo Foundation for Abused Children. And I see Kate Rogers here, who grabbed me the minute I gave her $1 million for the Alamo. And what does she do? She says, okay, good, you're on the board. So now I'm on the Alamo Trust Board. And also, of course, the Tobin, which Nelson was very instrumental in starting. I want to say, as I introduce him, I am so very proud of everything that he's accomplished. There's not another way to say it. But also, I want to point out that there have been thousands and thousands of decisions, literally I've watched him make over 33 years about all kinds of issues. Sometimes studying about them late into the night. Sometimes, we openly discuss a lot of things between us. I appreciate that he listens to my thoughts on things as well. But ultimately, the decisions he makes are his decisions, and they are always based on honesty and his trust. You would be amazed at how differently things can be when you read about it in the political world. But Nelson's decisions are based on trust and honesty, always, always, always. And even though occasionally people don't agree with him, ultimately they come around and say, you know what, you were right. You were right to do this, for example. You were right to do several million things that he's done. Ron, thank you, by the way, for being here. Our mayor's here. Thank you for being here. I think these two spent 319 nights together through COVID on television, and we really appreciate that. I cannot tell you how many people would come up to me anywhere I was and tell me how much that made them feel so much better about COVID, to see these two on TV together talking about all the issues, because it was such a startling thing that occurred, and then we were also worried about it and a lot of fear about it. So they were able to maintain a lot of good feelings in our city about being assured that we were on top of it and we were taking care of people in San Antonio and in Bexar County. So I suppose without further ado, I should introduce my husband, first of all, my partner in life, and I think probably the best, I'm going to say this, Phil, the best mayor and county judge ever.
Well, I was lucky to find this extraordinary lady in a chance encounter with the vastness of space and the immensity of time. And each moment that we have shared on this earth has been a miraculous moment for us. But now, Tracy, something extraordinary is happening. And it looks like you and I will be able to continue to walk along the San Pedro Creek for a long, long time. Now, we got choices, and you have choices. You can go north. You go right up here past Penner's. You can pass City Hall. You can see the wonderful murals that the Sosas have done, and then the Lopez mural, and then the Garcia mural. You can pass TPR. You can go to the Alameda Theater, which will open in about a year. And Tracy, we need to see if we can get Paul Elizondo and his band to come back and play at the Alameda. And then you can go on down to where we got the new bibliothèque down by the San Antonio headquarters. And there's some open land there. And maybe, and just maybe, they'd build a baseball field there so we could see that also. Now, we can also go south. We can pass Bayless Miller's property. We can go down past the federal courthouse. We can wind our way all the way down to where San Pedro Creek ties into the West Side Creeks. And I was just talking to Derek. And by the end of the year, you should be able to do that. And then you can follow San Pedro Creek right on up to the confluence with the San Antonio River. So in San Pedro Creek, we can go on the river too, because San Pedro Creek water's in there. And that's where Confluence Park is. And Tracy, we have 3 adult children who have helped in this project. Paul Windland is over there somewhere. Where are you, Paul? He was an assistant city attorney, helped on a lot of the contracts we needed to do with the city. Then he became a prosecutor along with Jason. Where's Jason Wolff? Along with Jason Wolff with the district attorney's office, and has done an extraordinary job. Scott Wolff served on the board of the River Foundation for over 10 years and was chairman of it that built Confluence Park. Scott, you're right back there. And then, of course, Kevin Wolff was a commissioner for 13 years and supported all these great, wonderful projects. So we appreciate that family for what you guys have done. Now, when we get down the river, you have this choice too. You can go south. You can go past all of the 4 missions, and they all have a portal on the river. You can also go to Espada Park, maybe play a baseball game there. You can go to the Bear County other park that we have there. You can stop by and see James Lift Shoes. We did the Hot Wells project. The park that we have there has been restored. And James dug a well down by the river that used to be there and bringing up sulfur water to treat people as they did in the 1800s. So we're going to stop by there, probably have a bath in his water, and keep us home going. Then we can head on to the south. We can go north. We can go by the Lone Star Brewery. Hopefully, we will be here. I'm sure we will be here long enough to see that finally restored like Pearl was. We can go on into San Antonio down by the river. We can go by the courthouse and go down the museum reach. My pal, Phil Harburger, when he was mayor, he drove his engine north and I drove mine south. And we were partners on it. We got the mission reach, the museum reach done down the Pearl. Totally transformed everything there. Then you can go on through the park, Brackenridge Park, and we're working on this right now, and find your way all the way to the Blue Hole on the grounds of the Hornet Word. So it's a beautiful place that you and I will be able to experience, and I can't think of a better place in the world to spend eternity than right here in nature, with the water flowing, with the wildlife coming, with the green spaces next to us. What a wonderful place for us to be. And we have a lot of people to thank for that. First, I want to thank Mayor Nirenberg. He fixed all the bridges along here. We couldn't have got through here without him fixing those bridges. I want to thank the River Authority. Suzanne Scott was a former leader of it before Derek Bays came along, and they both have done a great job. And Jim Campbell was here. Where is he? He's the chair of the River Authority. They've been a great partner. We put up the bucks, do a little oversight, and they do the hard work of getting this done. And one of the oversight people is Tony Kans. Tony, where are you? Tony back there represents Bear County and is involved in all the decisions that happen along the creek, along the river. And David Smith, the county manager, he helped drive this project, stayed behind and found the money for us to do it. And we're so appreciative of that. We want to thank the donors that have given to this. Alfonso Chicos Chisano was a wonderful, wonderful person. He went with us to Bonn, Germany, when we got the World Heritage designation for the missions. The only World Heritage site in the state of Texas. And we spent a lot of time together, and we went to look at some castles, and he had to climb a mountain. Now, he was like a billy goat, and I had a hard time keeping up with him. But he'd make it up to the top of that mountain. We'd look at some of those castles, and I just enjoyed him so very, very much. And of course, miss him very much. And Steve Ciscano and Henry Cisneros leading this effort. Well, thank you so much. Armando Benajos is right over there. Y'all see him? Can you stick up his hand? His son, David's right there behind, who helped do this project, a great, wonderful project. And the guy that had to do the hard work, Larry Stevens, see him stand back there in that white hair? He has the foundry out here on Blanco Road that cast the sculpture. This thing weighs 400 pounds. And it's an interesting place to go see when they're doing that. I think the temperatures get up to 2,000 or 3,000 degrees as they heat it to form that. And in fact, when I was in a mold status, they can mold first, then they cast it. Well, my head fell off because it was so hot out there. I had to get a little Elmer glue and put it back together so we could get this going here. Taylor Amy, what has he changed in San Antonio? Wow, what a leader. Tier 1 research university now. great football team going now. The wonderful data science building here and the one that they're going to be building here. And what? Oh yeah, the girls' sports team is doing well too now. That's great. I want to thank Marcy Trevino and Audrey. Marcy, where are you? They did the work on putting all this together. Now, I hope all of you can join us over at VTL. We'll see the Cortez family there. That was started in 1941 with 3 tables. And now it's one of the largest restaurants in the city today. So we're going to celebrate over there for lunch. We hope that you're going to be able to join us there. And thank all of you for sharing this really precious moment with us. And we still have a lot to do for San Antonio, so let's not let up. Thank you.
That concludes the presentation for this morning. I would just, as my father would do in any particular setting, he would want the lesson. What is the lesson that we would learn from the moment? And really the lesson, the reason why my father felt it was important of the 2 of you in a statue in a very vibrant part of the city, because in his mind, he wants the next generation to ask, why is this couple standing here? Why was it important to this generation to celebrate them? What honor and dedication did they give to our city, and inspire the next generation to follow in their steps? So I would encourage that as the lesson to be learned from this morning. And thank you both. God bless you.
Popping in, right? You gotta go see if they'll talk to us? Yeah. Cool.
One last thing, everybody. If you're going to Mi Tierra, you can follow Audrey wave. You can follow Audrey to Mi Tierra if you'd like to walk there.